This episode of The Hard Life has been brought to you by Spartan Stew, as Stew aims to complete the Spartan Race Trifecta to raise money for the Royal Mountain Cancer Charity. To find out more information and to donate, please click the link in the description down below. Earlier this year, I took part in 3 obstacle races, forming part of the Spartan Race series in the UK. Now, these did finish a while ago, and sorry about the delay, but now I can tell you how it all went down.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky.
Let me start by saying that these are the first races that I've ever done. Not just obstacle races, races in general. But it is for a good cause, for the Royal Mountain Cancer Charity. And if you still want to, you can still donate via the link below. Or, if you're that lazy, it's in the description. Anyway, the first race, the Spartan Sprint. The Spartan Sprint is a 3-mile race with over 15 obstacles. And this is the first race, as I said, that I had ever done. This took place at Allianz Park in North London. Now this is what's classified as a stadium sprint, which means it takes place on mainly flat surface and usually within a stadium. It's the first one in the UK, but it's a much bigger thing in the US, where obviously their stadiums are bigger, so you have more to run around with. And I was pretty happy with how I did, 52 minutes. Now this was my first race. Yes, it was only 5k, 3 miles, but this was under an hour because it had 15 obstacles in it. And of course, how often do you climb a rope? The thing is as well, you have to remember with all these races, is that if you can't do an obstacle, you have to do 30 burpees. It's one or the other, and you have to complete the obstacle, because if you don't, that means you have to do the burpees. So you can have done 90% of an obstacle, but if you don't finish it, burpees. And they really drain it out of you. So you obviously don't want to do the burpees if you can do the obstacles. Now I will admit some obstacles are much easier than others. For example, it's very difficult to mess up going under a cargo net. But ultimately, this is my first race. I had a great time, the weather was fantastic, and hey, I'd been able to do it. The next race couldn't be that hard, could it? Right? 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 Oh God. Oh Scotland. Why? What did I ever do to you? Oh, yeah, that. So the second race was in Scotland, and this was the Spartan Super, which is an 8-mile plus race with 20 plus obstacles. What I didn't take into account was, because this is Scotland, there's a lot of elevation. Before the Spartan Sprint, about 2 months beforehand, I had bruised the ACL in my right knee, and so that was a concern going into that race. In this race, about 1.5 miles in, I bruised my left ACL. Yay! For those of you that have never bruised your ACL, it basically makes it impossible to walk, and definitely impossible to run. However, because I knew I was doing this for a charity, and also because I really wanted that medal, I knew I had to finish. But I also knew having a competitive time had gone completely out the window. So in what a race that I thought could have taken me just about 3 hours to do, instead took 3 hours and 52 minutes. Yeah, it wasn't good. What also didn't help was that the weather was not on my side. But then again, it's Scotland. What did I expect? After doing this race, a few weeks later, I relocated to Salzburg, which put a hindrance on my training for the final race. Would I be able to finish it? Hell, would I be able to have a good time doing it? Well, that would come to a head at the end of September. Okay, the Spartan Beast is a race unlike any other. A half marathon with over 25 obstacles all along the route. This was going to be hard. That said, this was my best race, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it as well. First of all my training came together and paid off. I was able to do most of the obstacles without having to do burpees as well. What also helped was, because I had an early start, that also meant an early finish. But on top of that, the weather was fantastic, especially having been told all the week prior that it had been raining and miserable. But the weekend itself was glorious sunshine, so yeah, that was a really good time. Furthermore, I even had a good finishing time as well. It took me just over 4 hours, well, 4 hours and 2 minutes to be exact. I had done it. I had done 3 obstacle races in 1 year, and it was all for a good cause. And I stress again, if you can, please donate to the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity. The link is in the description below. And there you have it. So not only do I have all 3 of my medals from all my races, but I also managed to obtain the Spartan Trifecta, which not many people are able to do. So this was a huge accomplishment for me, to have gone from no races prior to this year to having done 3, and 3 the toughest of all. We're coming to the end of 2015, and I'm going to say it now, there's not going to be the 5 this year. But there will be reflection. After all, I did turn 25 this year. I have to have learned something along the way. Until next time, adios amigos.
You could.